On this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, Kidder and I feeling a bit tired. It's been a rough week, but we are okay because we're bringing somebody to bring in the energy. That's right, we're shipping it in all the way from Iowa. It is Rudeboy Kyle, and we're going to have a great time. We're going to talk about some interesting drinks. We're going to talk about some controversy. We're going to talk about some conspiracy. It gets a little bit of poking the bear here and there, so if you like the banter, you're in for a good time. And hey, we might even make it up to What's on Tap round 3. It's all good. And hey, I even got something hiding right over here. Something big, something I didn't think I would get. It's 30 pounds of goodness. What is it? You're just going to have to tune in. Oh boy, this is a great show. You're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and V. Mark Kidder. Pour cold beverage, policies, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast created through the machinations of a vengeful IPA. I'm your host, the living embodiment of Charlie Brown, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the very tired legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
It's tough being this damn legendary, let me tell you. I ain't nobody got time for time. Okay. How you doing?
I mean, I'm tired. You look about how I feel. I was up at 5:15 this morning so I could get myself up to Williston. I got back a little bit about an hour before we needed to record this show. So it has been a day on top of a very short week. It was a 2-day work week for myself, and that was like almost too much. So I'm tired, but glad to be here. You're tired, glad to be here. And hey, we're not alone because
thank the Lord.
Somebody has to bring the energy to this show, and for that, we're gonna go all the way. We're bringing our energy in. We are importing it from the great state of Iowa. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Corn country.
Rudeboy Kyle is joining us tonight. Kyle, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right, gents. How are you? Besides tired.
I think we already covered that one.
Yeah, well,
We covered that one pretty
that
good.
reminds me of the meme
Pretty
that I
good.
found. That it's just a picture of the rice maker, and it shows that it's still functional, but the light doesn't shine. And it had that label on the front. But
Me
yeah,
too,
glad to be
rice
here,
maker.
and
Yeah, the
Happy
back-to-back
Friday.
appearance for you. So
yeah.
it'll be good. It will be good. But gentlemen, let's not waste time. Let's get to everybody's favorite segment of the show, and that is we've made that joke. Like,
I know. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, it's starting to get up there with like your Mandan joke. Like people are like they're just rehashing the same old stuff.
Is that like Bismarck has doesn't have something Mandan always will? It's a beautiful city across the river. Thank you very much.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to What's on Tap, in the weirdest intro to this segment I think we have ever had. Kyle, you're the guest. What are you having tonight?
Since Mark was in town last weekend, we did a little browsing around the local shops, and Mark found this. It is the new American Cider
Pineapple one.
Fruity Tropical Semi-Sweet Hard Cider.
Howard, do you have that one?
I do, but I'm not going to lie, Kidder. Because of the size of the beverages you brought, I am going to definitely be saving those for parent in charge weekends, which I appreciate.
The Jefferson County Cider Works.
Which means I'll be drinking them next week.
Ooh. I was expecting something much more sweet, but it is much along the lines of a hard apple cider with pineapple notes. Not extremely dry, but much
Just a
more
bit
dry
dry?
than sweet. Say again?
Just a bit dry?
A little dry.
Just a bit dry.
Slap a couple buns on each side of it and save the
No,
flavor.
that's too juicy. No buns.
No buns needed. But yeah, that's delicious. It's a good early spring taste.
What I should have done before I opened this is actually read it, but it's the Jefferson County Cider Works Fruity Tropical Semi-Sweet Hard Cider Tropical Pineapple. It's a lot of stuff all stacked on one side of this. No wonder it had to be in a 16-ounce can. 6.2% alcohol by volume, so it is a pounder in size and strength. Again, the tropical pineapple. See lots of the pineapple on here. What do we got on the back? Ingredients: apples, pineapple juice, yeast, and pineapple extract. Sulfates added to protect flavor and quality. All right. It's a sparkling hard cider, gluten-free, keep refrigerated, serve cold, and share with friends. Pack it in, pack it up, please recycle. The QR barcode on there shaped like Iowa, just sideways, because, you know, if I turned it sideways, I'd have to shove it straight up your candy ass.
What do you think, Kidder?
Bitter beer face!
Oh,
You get that bam right in the face there.
it is
Too much
definitely
apple.
semi-sweet. Yeah,
Too
it's
much apple.
too much apple. You're wanting more pineapple.
Yeah, I'm drinking a thing that's called tropical pineapple, and I get apple. What kind of ripoff is that?
Well, they're both in the apple family, aren't they? Maybe. I was waiting for it.
I'm looking forward to trying this one next week.
Yeah, I'd rather have something like this that is semi-sweet or dry to the palate than something that's way too sweet, which pineapple is by itself.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was hoping this would be along the lines of Ace Pineapple Ale. This is not along that line. It's more like the Ace Standard Apple, Crisp Apple, which is not pineapple. Apple-y pine.
My second drink tonight will be on theme because it also is pineapple. But I'm going to start with something a little bit lighter this evening.
Prickly, just like you.
No. This is a brewery that I maybe have not been all that kind to in the past. But some of them. This one, there's another regular on this show who I was kind of hoping he was actually here so that because I'm sure he's had it and I'd get his opinion on it as well. Gentlemen, I am going to the good old Leinenkugel's brewery, and I have their Lakeside Cherry lead off. It is 4.4% alcohol by volume.
Garbage.
I know that this was kind of troll Kidder with the cherry, but gotta do it every now and then. What do we got here? Leinenkugel's Lakeside Cherry is a crisp and refreshing beer made using real cherry juice and was inspired by Rose Leinenkugel, who mortgaged her family home to save the Leinenkugel's business after Prohibition. The use of cherries creates a rose-colored beer, honoring Rose and all pioneering, resilient women like her. Family, beer with natural flavors, Jacob Leinenkugel Brewing Company, Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. Oh, hey, it's got serving size. Serving size, 12 fluid ounces. One serving is the container. It's 4% alcohol by volume. 147 calories, 14.2 grams of carbs. It is fat-free and has 1.4 grams of protein. This is far more information than any of you really need to know about this beer. We'll give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that definitely smells like cherries. And it definitely tastes like a beer that somebody spilled cherry juice into.
You got a floor drain behind you somewhere, don't you? Just
one right over that way, along with a sump pump over that way, and a sump pump over that way. So,
in fact, I think we might need to test the sump pump. Just go shove that can straight up its ass.
I'm not gonna lie, Kidder. Drinking something like
I
this,
hate when you lie to me.
yeah, something like this. I can see why you're not a big fan of cherries in your old fashioned. I'm not really a fan of cherries in my beer. In fact, wasn't that a bit that we used to do on this? No fruit in beer. This is why. I'm going to give it a 2.
So would it be like a tart cherry taste that's in there?
It's not. It's like the slightest hint of cherry.
Oh.
Like in it. So it's like, it is like drinking kind of a slightly bitter beer and like a little bit of a cherry finish to it, but not a strong cherry taste. So it's almost like washed out by the bitter beer taste.
Mark, what would you give the pineapple?
Oh, I thought I gave it a 2.3.
Oh, 2.3. I'll give it a 2.5.
Wow. We're starting off with a trio of 2s.
Mediocre.
2!
Can only go up from here, but I know what my second drink is. So,
Well, how about going up from here? And that is a final score for University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux Hockey. It's a question. How about it?
oh, I thought you were going to lay it out. I was waiting because
didn't watch it.
when I was listening to the
Okay.
But I was listening to the radio on the way here. They were playing basketball and not hockey. So
It's weird that the hockey team would be playing basketball.
it's the whole state tournaments are going on, so everybody's covering basketball.
Thematic. I see.
Hey, hi,
Sterling! Hey, buddy! Hey, Sterling! He's got the Doge dog look there of
Let me go.
pardon me. Too much excitement.
He sensed something was coming. He backed away like 2 steps real quick, and he's like, "Nope, I'm out."
1 step forward and 2 steps back. Gonna get away from the camera attack.
What was the score of the game, by the way?
Who the crap was it? University of Miami, Ohio. I think that's who we were playing tonight. 1. Your University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux 5.
High five.
I was hopeful.
But yeah, they probably picked it up when you got home and shut it off.
I told you.
That's another commonality, as I didn't have the game on here, so they had their weekend to phone it in against Omaha.
When does the tournament season start for hockey? That's how far out of it I am.
We're in the NCHC playoffs at the moment, so
So tonight, first round.
the official postseason, at least the divisional postseason, is now.
Well, let's hopefully we'll have a good postseason.
Our hopes are up. Our time is now, now. You can't see them. Our time is now. Gonna play hockey and glad us downtown. Can't have that attitude. I know. So, don't let us down.
Hey, speaking of things letting me down, here's a great one, Kidder. I got to engage in a little bit of a home. And I won't say home improvement, but I had a home maintenance project that got a little out of hand. So
Should have held on to it.
Never had that happen.
Never. Because again, it's not like I'm the living embodiment of Charlie Brown, where everything. That's right.
The place to save big money a few times.
No, because all this was, and all it should have been, is like a 2-minute project of changing the filter on my furnace. 2 minutes.
There you go.
2 minutes. Now, I'm just going to say this. It just to like grab the filter from the garage, walk it down to the basement, pull the plastic off it, like 2 minutes total. I was including walking time. I was being generous. Get down here.
So nice to be generous.
And I open it up to get to my filter, and the filter that's in there has decided, and I don't know why, because by the time that this is all said and done, I just no way to analyze. The whole filter had bowed in so that no longer easy to grab.
Well, that means you got a strong furnace. Mine does that too.
Man, that sucks.
The problem is, like,
Be here
the
all
gap,
day.
And it blows a little bit of air too.
Yeah, the gap to get the furnace out is all of like like an inch, is it? And then the spot where that is within like what I'd maybe say is 2.5 to 3 inches. So I had to try and pull this thing out. Luckily, I have, and I don't know what the actual proper tool name is. I call it a marble grabber because that's what I used it for at the science center. But it was basically one of those long metal claws that you squeeze and it comes out and grabs things. Grab that. Was able to get it up enough where I could slide my hand in, but I don't know if you'll be able to see. I ended up cutting the crap out of both my hands trying to, and I have pictures that I'll put up. That's actually more on the inside. Trying to get this thing out. I have accidentally used anti-bac a couple of times since this, and it's just like whole hand sting. I kicked the crap out of me. Ended up finally ripping the damn thing out, dust flying everywhere. So got to vacuum afterwards, but got it out, got the new one in. Should have been 2 minutes, but it was not fun. And the other problem was like my son came down to help. So as much as I wanted to swear at the damn thing as I was yanking it out, I'm like, don't want to swear in front of the kid. But he also was a little upset that I was breaking it. But at that point, I didn't care. I'm like, this thing's coming out one way or another. Got it out, got it done. But everybody should have one of those marble grabber thingies. If you own a home, you need one. If you own a home and have kids, you definitely need one. Way too handy.
Well, I'm sorry.
Don't find you handsome, at least find you handy.
That's right.
Something along those lines. Always an adventure when I try to do home repair.
Even something just as basic as a filter.
Yeah.
Stuff.
I mean, like, as I said, the easiest of tasks. And it's like, nope, this has got to be a thing. Yeah. I kind of missed the filter I had at the condo because that was just like you opened a door, you pulled out this big brick that lasted like a year, threw that out, slide the new one in, close it up. You were good. The current furnace I have, it's like every 3 months I have to replace one of these things. I go through a lot of filters.
Yeah,
now that I've
was it about a 4-pack from Amazon that was supposed to be every 3 months. So a 4-pack lasts a year supposedly. So we'll put the new one in just before baby gets here.
I have the fancy ones that are $120 a piece. There's 6-month minimum. So I stretch them to 1 year. Because they are $120 and they're the Heppa Mighty Morphin Power Ranger filter of taking everything out of the air so I can't breathe.
It's good.
So you can breathe better.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And hey,
Sucking all the air out.
Well, let's make this a little bit more of an educational podcast. Folks, if you're buying your first home and you're learning all about home maintenance for the first time, you need to change your filter and change it regularly. Because if you don't, you will get blockage, which will create a big block of ice in your furnace system that when it melts, it will flood that area.
We'll talk about blockage.
Make sure you change it on a regular basis. Not like once every 4 years, like I may have had a historic site do. Because then, they thought it was great to like every day go and shop vac 4 to 5 inches of water out of an air handler every morning because it was flooded. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a whole story in itself.
I mean, that's about as much as I can tell you legally.
Fair enough.
Got into some HR issues after that, and I can't talk about it.
You keep your secrets.
I will, because I wish to keep my job. I love my job. It's great. Anybody else doing some fun home improvement this weekend?
I sure as hell hope not.
Might get out and do the dethatcher within the next week or two, possibly. But besides that, nothing planned. So
sounds like Kidder's not planning to do any.
No.
Which is it's good. Kidder, now that you're free, I got a little sheetrock project I need to do over here. You want to come over?
You know a good drywall guy?
No good demolitionist.
I know how much you love the sheetrock, so
Yeah, that rock it's like down the street from the P-Rock.
yeah.
Doesn't get any better the longer you more you drink.
I need to let you know we now have another Lifeform in our house. The kids finally got a pet. We now have a pet fish. They're excited. No, it's a beta. While we were in Menards,
Good thing that they're working through that beta program.
yeah,
Soon they'll get a full release.
we were going through one of the sections, and they had on clearance these. It's a fish tank, but it's also the hydroponics kit. So the whole idea is it's basically a little mini ecosystem. You have the fish in the tank. It feeds the plants that are growing up above with its poo, which is fine. And then you end up with plants that you can then turn around and eat. And because it eats up the ammonia from the water, you don't have to clean the tank. I think once a month I have to take out the pump and give it a rinse. But it's not like the last time that Kate and I had a beta and you had to take it out and put it in another container and scrub down the whole tank and clean all the rock and all of that. It's worth a shot. The kids are really excited about it. We let them each choose out a decoration for inside the tank. And they also got to choose a name. So they each chose a name for it. So our fish's name is none other than La 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 Chunk. Good.
Sounds like one of those up and coming rappers.
Yeah, something like that.
Popular on TikTok.
Yeah, Little Miss gave it the name Lala because she can't say Elmo, so she calls Elmo Lala. So technically it's Lala, short for Elmo. And then my son's current favorite Pokemon is a Lechonk, which is basically a pig Pokemon. So there you go. There's the etymology of that name, Lala Lechonk. I'm just glad it's not a dog and I don't have to try and call it in at night.
Don't have to send them outside to go to the bathroom either.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've ever told the story to Kyle. Kidder, I think, knows it. My grandma, when my mom was in high school, my grandma always named her pets weird things. But when my mom was in high school, my grandma's dog at the time, she named the dog Oink. And it was purely so she could have her daughters who were in high school and such have to go out on the back and call the dog in and go, Oink! Here, Oink! Oink, 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 oink! That's the whole reason she named the dog Oink. Just for that bit. So
Always got to commit to the bit.
yeah. Which is, it was one of those, hearing those stories, it's like, yeah, I wish my grandma would have lived a lot longer so I could have learned more of her shenanigans. Because I think I could have learned some things. Gents, I happen to notice you guys have been putting in the hours on the old flashing lights, bringing down the perps, pulling over vans. I think I even saw you were in a shootout at one point.
Yeah, bank robbery.
Yeah, the bank robbery was a fun one.
Yeah, I kind of tuned out a little bit during the bank robbery. I forget what happened. I think a kid needed my attention or something. It's kind of like I saw you guys go in, and I saw the beginning of the shooting, and then something came up, and then I came back, and you guys were like wrapping it up, and we're like, okay, it's all done. I'm like, I missed the whole thing.
Sounds like an excuse, is what it does to me.
You can just go back and watch the VOD.
Watch the stream.
Yeah,
It's an on-demand replay.
it's linked right up here. There you go, or down below.
Well, yeah, the new. Well, I haven't done that mission. I'm not sure which update. The interior of the buildings happened in, but it was kind of a fun. It reminded me of, I guess, the procedures and the strategy that goes behind doing something inside of a building versus just taking care of police stuff outside. We had one guy that was on our server with us helping us, but he was only on text chat only, and he didn't necessarily provide much help, but he helped in his own way. So, well, yeah, they released the new SWAT van update DLC for flashing lights. What was it, yesterday? Picked that up and had to, of course, trick out the SWAT van with all the lights and such. The new ability to have somebody in the center hatch, which opens.
Turret.
And also have the ability to have 4 people hanging off the 4 corners in support, ready to hop off at a moment's notice, plus the driver, passenger, and the 2 rear seats. Pretty solid update, I'd say, for $2 and change.
I have to ask, with all of the lights and such you can put on, can you put on like the old 1950s like radio light?
Yes, you can put on the Michigan gumball.
That is all I would have on. Like, you guys I know spend like an hour minimum.
I don't anymore, okay? Not anymore, because I saved all the presets for everything.
Yeah,
So
you only have to do that once per vehicle, though. Once you have the lights the way you like it, then
I just load it. It's done. It's done.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't bother with that. I would just have that one light, and that's all I'd have. Doesn't matter.
That's you.
I mean, that is me.
And you should get it.
I'm not going
on
to.
Steam.
Why? I don't have time to play that.
Well, you hardly us, so you could play with us.
I mean, listen, I really only tune in to make snarky comments and such.
It helps the algorithm.
It does help the algorithm. I keep waiting for other people to join in. I'm trying to like, hey, here, I'll throw some things out you can react to. People go, look at these guys, they're fun.
Maybe I'll make a Twitch burner account and be the anti-Chris in chat.
This looks like a Flashing Lights live stream breaking out mid-podcast. For those who are listening to the audio version. So. I mean, I didn't ask for it. Yeah,
you did.
I did not.
Yeah.
Let the record show I did not ask for more flashing lights in my life.
Well, yeah, not behind you. But see, you got your SWAT costume, so you can adequately, do things.
Honestly, Kidder, I think the last time that I had flashing lights in my rear view, I think you were in the car. I don't know if you remember that incident.
Oh, I sure do. I'm still questioning the legality of the stop, but that's a story for another day.
Why not today? We could talk about it.
I mean, we can, but I don't want to waste time on that.
Statute of limitations.
I
mean, he just got a warning anyway, but it was stupid. So
yes, it was. So while Kidder's showing off this awesome customization, allow me to tell the story. So, flashing lights. Anyway,
The share sucks. It's all glitchy. It's not smooth. Like
Yeah, I was
over
going to
here.
say next slide, please.
Did you
I
make
don't
this
know.
in PowerPoint?
I mean, that's kind of how our episodes go. So
Yeah, I got my opening line for next week. Welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS. We're one step up from PowerPoint.
See,
highly doubtful.
I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have said it. No more flashing lights.
Well, here's what I'm doing. I'm putting this up in the trifecta. So we got the tri screen going over here. Okay. Now I'm going to open the Stream Labs over there instead of the OBS. So I got the OBS and the Streamlabs going, and then the Streamlabs I can record while the OBS is recording. So it's a record and a record, and not a stream and not a show, and still not that good.
Time for drink 2.
I'm not done with it yet. Like I haven't. It's not that good.
They went to get back to this story as Kidder does his behind the scenes magic. So it I forget what year this was. But Kidder, my wife Lefty, and I
2012.
Somewhere around there. Went down to Rapid City, South Dakota. My sister was directing the one and only stage theatrical presentation of the Mel Brooks classic Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Tights.
And what I mean is the only one. Like, my sister went to great lengths. This wasn't just like they reenacted the movie. This was, she literally called around to figure out who she had to get the rights from, and including having a phone conversation with Mel Brooks about being allowed to do this. And eventually he said, no, I don't have the rights to it. You'd have to talk to this writer. Here's his contact. She got to talk to the writer, and he agreed as long as they donated all of their proceeds to charity, they could do it. And so she got to do this theatrical presentation of Robin Hood Men in Tights. So we went down, enjoyed the show. It was a great time. We're on our way back. And of course, I'm not speeding because Kidder is in the passenger seat, and he's the kind of, navigating passenger who checks my speed on his phone to make sure that I wasn't speeding, because we had that conversation on the way down. And we're cruising home on the interstate, and it's one of those situations. We're coming up on a semi truck, so I'm getting over to pass. There's one car ahead of me, and I'm slowly getting closer and closer and closer to it. I'm right at that point. Like, it's about at the front of the truck. I'm right at that point where I'm going to step on my brake, take off my cruise so I don't get too close. And they get in front of the truck, and they flip on their blinker. I'm like, great. They're going to move over, so I don't need to turn off my cruise. They proceed to stay in the passing lane for a bit long. I get close to their bumper. They were in no danger. But they got so mad, like as they moved over, the lady in the passenger seat crawled back over the center console into the back seat so she could flip us off as we drove past. Yeah. So we keep going, and a little bit before the Crown Butte exit, we notice, because of course there's Kidders in the car, and he's got like law enforcement radar, and so we quickly notice we got a Morton County sheriff following me. We pull off at Crown Butte because my wife needed to use the bathroom. We pull off. She runs in. We watch this Morton County sheriff. He also got off, circled the truck stop there. My wife gets done, hops back in the car. We get back on the interstate, keep cruising. Morton County Sheriff hops right back behind us. We maybe go another mile or two. And then all of a sudden there's whoop, there go the lights. I get pulled over.
He said, whoop, there's some lights.
That's not,
whoop, there it is.
Whoop, there the lights.
I mean, everybody knew where this story was going, that I was getting pulled over. So, whoop, there it is. Anyway, I get pulled over, and what had happened was the people in the car who flipped us off actually called in and reported me as a reckless driver. And so this Morton County Sheriff tracked us down, and we were driving my little orange Matrix. I'm a pretty easy car to spot and find. But this Morton County Sheriff followed us, and I didn't, because I was driving perfectly fine. Had not caused. So he pulled me over basically to say, hey, we got a call that you were driving recklessly. You know, he asked for my information. I gave it to him. He told me, yeah, it was called in. He goes, but those people aren't here. I don't have them to get their side of the story, because we told him what happened. He's like, I don't have their side. So I'm just going to give you a warning and you can be on your way. So that was the last time that I was pulled over. And I didn't even do anything. And I'm
the reason for the stop was that in the system that the DOT had, the color of the car was coming back as red or something, and it's orange.
Yeah, because it's got one of those stupid names. It's like Sunburst. So, you know, you tell people that, you know, what color's your car? Sunburst. They put whatever. And I think it's even like Golden Sunburst. It's a really weird.
Burnt orange.
I mean, that's a better description. I mean, do I have that color on my... One moment. Howard's consulting his wall of paint. I mean, that's a pretty close approximation. The lighting is going to be off, folks, but this Reaper's Afterburn, let me give it a shake, is a better approximation of the color of my car. You can kind of see it. That's it. It's a little desaturated due to my lighting, but you get the idea. You get the flavor. So, yeah, that was the last time I was pulled over. So, and I'm glad that, you know, he just let me off with a warning, because, man, if I would have gotten a ticket, Kidder would not let me live that down, that I got a ticket with him sitting in the passenger seat.
Well, they had maybe RS to stop you, but no probable cause. Maybe Mark.
Well, you don't need probable cause to initiate a traffic stop. You just need
Well, that's reasonable suspicion.
Yeah.
Or you have information that somebody provided to you that allegedly something happened, but like Howard said, the witness wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, anybody in the same situation, the same thing would have happened. Because when you turn on a turn signal and you are clearly in front, like you're flipping it on and you move immediately over. You don't flip it on and then cruise for a while. You know, it's not a flip it on, cruise for a while, eventually move over, and then flip it off. You flip it on, move
make
over,
that eventual left. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, this isn't Florida. We don't do eventual lefts.
Could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll make it in the right lane by Orlando.
Yeah. One of these years we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, Kidder, I saw you finished your drink, which leads me to ask, are we ready for everybody's second favorite segment of the show? And that is, what's on tap? Round 2. Drink!
Well, like we said from earlier, we have nowhere to go but up, so this has to be the first favorite, and the second
or
favorite
face down.
First. I have to go run downstairs to the fridge to grab mine, so I will return shortly.
All right. Well, we'll vamp while you're running, making a beer run. BEERUN, beer run.
We're gonna vamp?
Yes.
Like vampires, or are we gonna vape? Because vaping is bad.
No, we're going to vamp, as in the old theater term of we're just going to come up with stuff, you know, a usual BS until he gets back.
Huh.
You know, stall.
So how is that different from what we normally do this entire show?
Normally, we don't acknowledge that we're vamping. We usually keep that as a closely guarded secret of this craft. We don't just put it out there in the open. That's right.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
As you would say, there it is.
Hey, you know what? At least I tried to add some humor. And I'm not going to lie. I'm low on sleep, and this is the best you get. Besides, you have to look at it this way. Howard's speaking blunders make for great little shorts for us to put up. That's how you have to look at it.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, everybody liked it when I accidentally glued that eye stalk to my finger. That got great views.
Yeah.
So, the one that comes out tomorrow is me doing all of the punishment shots from AEW World's End. So, enjoy that 30 or 50 seconds of misery.
Yeah.
It's good. Good time. Very good time.
Very good. You deserve it.
And I see Kyle's back. So,
That's for round 2.
What you having for round 2?
Well, I will read the description before opening the can. So I'll learn from my mistake in round 1. So, a simple yet complex classic, brick red ale, drinks like a lager with the attitude of an ale. Nutty aroma gives way to the mild sweet caramel flavor, the subtle background hops, and a smooth finish. From Glenwood, Iowa, which is west-southwest near the Nebraska border, 5.7% alcohol by volume. The Keg Creek Brewing Red Brick Ale.
That is a nice looking can.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Symmetric.
Yeah.
With the red brick logos and background. So here's to round 2.
5.7%. A simple yet complex classic. Brick red ale drinks like a lager with the attitude of an ale. Nutty aroma gives way to mild sweet caramel flavor and subtle background hops with a smooth finish. Canned on January 10th, 2023. I hope this is not January 10th. I hope this is October 1st, 2023. And even then,
pushing the limits.
Am I reading that right, Kyle? Like, am I seeing something weird here?
Mine does
right by the
say
barcode.
one and then like a tab and a dot and then 10 and then 2023. So I wouldn't
What is this?
anticipate they would be
Whose
using
beer is it anyway?
the European standard for month, day, year, or day, month, year.
Good Lord. Whose beer is it
It
anyway?
tastes good to me.
The flavor's made up and the dates don't matter. It's red. It's like licking a brick. Little bricky. What? Howard's licked bricks.
He got
I've seen it.
the glasses pull and the pink guy.
I haven't licked bricks, but I want to know how you know what it's like to lick a brick.
I mean, I don't. It's an earthy tone from my understanding. But that one's better than the last one. I'll give it like a 2.8.
Oh,
Give it a 3.
Okay. Well, so far, Kyle's predictions of us going up is being
We're
met.
improving.
Yeah.
Your dad had choice words about this, too. Hey, shout out to Mr. Shuey.
Yeah. He tried one.
Rude Boy Senior.
I'm trying to remember what he said about it, because there was pandemonium on Saturday for the old baby shower. So
Yeah, your dad and I had some good laughs for a while.
yeah.
Oh, hey, that's a good segue. The drinking partner, the perfect thing to get your drink on and to hold your drink when you're doing whatever you want. Inside, outside, north side, south side, doesn't matter. The drinking partner's where you want to be.
That's right. It's been an invention from my dad and my uncle, and it's something that they've sold for over 10 years for now, and it's something that it's very useful for, like Mark said, indoors and out. It is the thing that you didn't know you needed until you have it. So highly recommended, good quality, patented, and extremely good working materials to last you a long time. So drinkingpartner.com, you'd be able to buy from that website or through our Facebook page. There's still plenty of colors left and available. It's something that they're not actively making anymore right now, but they do have a stock of popular colors and any available color upon request. It's something that it's family business that's just kind of slowly churned the past 10, 15 years, and highly recommended. You want me to go grab one? I can show it on the show.
I mean, I leave that up to you.
All right.
You know,
I'll be right back. I'll go grab one.
I will just put this back in the koozie for a little bit. So, I'm now entertaining you because Kidder is fighting the allergies, man. They're attacking him.
Yeah, I tried the brick, and the brick just took it straight to my allergies here. What kind of garbage is that?
I would say that's a really different take on the old brick attack. Yeah. I haven't played Brick Attack in a long time, man. That's one of those computer games that just, like, you used to play all the time, and now it's just gone. You don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
That's gone. Minesweeper's gone. All those things. But hey, Kyle's back with a drinking partner.
So yeah, here it is. It not sure the exact measurements, but this is the indoor version of the model. It comes with a sealed plywood, thick, rounded corner base. But the outside version, you take the bolt out of the bottom, and in to the bottom you can screw a solid aluminum spike, so it can go into gravel, into your lawn. But it comes up to between my knee and my hip. So yeah, extruded aluminum. This thing will not bend on you. You have to do a lot of effort to try and break it. We haven't broken one yet.
I was just asking for it.
New product video not coming soon. But yeah, you can't break this. This is very weather resistant. The aluminum will not rust, but it goes great in the yard, great in the house, and awesome for tailgating. And it's excellent for times like these. If you don't have a drink holder, if your desk is too cluttered already, plop one of these down next to you. My desk is not cluttered, by the way, but for demonstration purposes, it is right here. And cheers.
Nice. We actually bought a couple of those for my parents about a year or two ago. The first time you mentioned it on the show.
Yeah. How do they like them?
They like them. They actually they use them out at dog training.
Mm-hmm.
So they put them in the ground so that people can set their drink down and that. But yeah, they like them. So
Excellent.
Well, gents, I have taken my second drink out of my very trusty drink your paint water koozie, which, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, go back a week, and then you'll know. Maybe. Gentlemen, I hinted that my second drink would have pineapple in it, but mine comes from the Hop Valley Brewing Company, and it is their Pineapple Stash House Hazy IPA. Something that Kidder would absolutely hate.
All you need is a cherry pineapple combo. I think
cherry pineapple IPA, and it'd be Kidder's kryptonite.
No, it won't be my kryptonite. I'll just throw up projectile vomit all over you.
Yeah, here's what we got on the old description. Simcoe Cryo hops from our secret stash, combined with real pineapple puree, create this tropical delight of pineapple haze. It is a pineapple hazy India Pale Ale, 6.7% alcohol by volume, 31 IBUs. You know, for those people like Local Geek who know what that means. I know it's about bitterness, but I had to take a shot at the Local Geek. Cryo hops is a registered trademark.
But out of any of the people on this show, you're now taking shots at the Local Geek?
He's not here to defend himself.
Exactly.
Holy crap.
Yeah. It's a registered trademark of Yakima Chief Hops, Inc., used with permission. So we'll give this one. Hey, Kidder, I put out a Facebook post on the old Triple B Facebook page because I got a pair of 6-packs of mystery beer. One for the Local Geek, one for JS Gunslinger. And I said, who wants what? And nobody's responded yet. So
that's incorrect. I saw a Local Geek.
Oh,
commented.
Did
he? Yes.
I missed that in my driving today.
Calling you out.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, how do you like that?
You want me to read the reply?
Yeah, yes. Son.
Wait, are you calling him a son? Me a son?
You.
Oh, okay.
You.
I want to be clear who we're.
I'm calling you out.
Well, Local Geek says, I'm torn. I like the black and green pretty equally. If JS hasn't spoken yet, I'll go with the black one.
All right. Local Geek taking the black.
I do like the duct tape on the boxes, though. It adds to the intrigue.
Yeah, I didn't want to take the time to wrap in each individual can. So I just I'm throwing them in. I have 2 6-pack boxes here. I just threw a selection of stuff in each one. They get what they get. So I have to get those to them. So, this isn't too hoppy. It doesn't really taste like pineapple, though. I'm getting kind of the juicy taste, but the pineapple is really faint. The cherry beer had a bit more of the cherry flavor than this has of pineapple. So it's not bad. I'm going to give this a 3.
We're moving on up.
Exactly.
Are you high?
I'm something, Kidder. I think you would know this by now.
Yeah. It's like you're wanting to go to Subway and have 2 footlongs.
I mean, no, I'm not that hungry. I'm just, it's been a long day. It's been a lot of time on the road. And then a lot of stressful stuff while I was there. So I'm just kind of glad to be around people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Are you high?
It seems Mark has been around too many people recently.
yeah. Peter knows my general feelings about being around people. So,
I wonder
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering, are you high?
I wonder if we need a mood quotient or a mood modifier. Like if you're in a bad mood, then you can modify your beer score by like 10 points to a quarter point. Like if you're in a bad mood, then it's just like this thing tastes like junk. But sometimes if you're in a bad mood, even a bad beer tastes good.
it's I don't know. It's
Sounds like you're trying to do a square root of 0.
I just got to make the spreadsheet that much more complicated for the local geek. He's going to have to then listen to the intro.
All it takes is another column.
Well, right, but he's got to listen to every show to go, what was Kidder's mood on episode 1?
Yeah.
So they can figure out the adjustment to the score. And then that's going to be really difficult because there are beers in the first. We didn't start actually putting a score on these until like episode 36 or somewhere in that range.
Mhm.
So he's got to then try and figure that out. I mean,
And then does your mood improve or get worse after beer 1 for beer 2? There's a whole lot of math involved.
it could be. Is there a cherry variable? Like, does your score go down for every cherry entered into the drink?
Yes, it does. Any cherry equals it. You divide by 0.
You get negative score for cherry in Mark's column.
You get nothing.
Yes. Hey, we were talking video games before we started this very long beer segment. Kidder, I got something in the mail.
Bills?
Nope. I'm going to move the camera up because this thing weighs 30 pounds, so I'm not going to lift it up. But see if you can see that.
Ooh.
Well, look at that. You finally got something out of them.
Yeah, for those who don't know, it is the Rainbow Six board game produced by Mythic Games, which is amazing that, hey, I got it because, they're pretty much a dead company these days with a lot of people pissed off at them. I will say, and I don't know if you saw it in the camera, but there's a huge gouge in this box. Massive.
Well, it probably came from France, so lay off them.
It is a French company that made it, but it actually came from China. Let's open this quick. I missed something.
No, you're good. You'll figure it out.
Okay, don't even play.
Which edition did you invest in?
So, you mean which pledge level?
Yeah, I was just doing a quick search, and I see they have the Fresh Recruit Core Pledge, the Trooper Gameplay All-In, and the Smooth Operator Premium All-In.
Smooth Operator!
I'm not gonna lie. I might have gotten everything.
Top tier.
There you go.
Money!
And of which I collected everything except the skins because I gave the codes for that to Kidder.
Thank you.
So there's the box. On the back, you can see the.
You're saying there isn't like little decals that you can put on the guns and everything? Like it's not like you have to shoot 5,000 people before you get the carbon skin, just like in the real game?
No,
That's Battlefield or COD. This one, you have to play enough games and then open the random seal packs, and you get a skin. You get a skin. It's like the Call of Duty World War II crates that you get such good equipment out of.
Excellent.
Stupid.
There we go.
Year 1, year 2, all the way through year 5, map packs.
Yep.
Dice tray, additional dice set. Ooh. 3D decor. Line of sight laser. Ooh.
Which is what
This
I'm
looks good. Yeah, there it is. Don't look into the laser, everybody.
What you can't probably see is it's actually
I'm gonna die. Yeah, because you pointed it in my eye.
it's actually a line so that you can actually see the line of sight. So it's not just like a point.
What a joke.
Kidder, thoroughly unimpressed.
I'm still recording flashing lights for you, going through all the light bars.
Oh boy. I will enjoy looking at that footage later. Oh, I accidentally turn off.
No sarcasm detected.
Good. But yeah, there's the dice tray. So
Got a dice tray for you right here.
here's the Carlos Gomez pack. 0. Yeah. So I won't pull all of it out, but like there's again some of the map packs.
Nice.
So they're in there. There's a nice pack. This big thing, I believe, is all of the extras in it. So it's here. I'll have to work on getting it all to fit in the cave, but they made it. Now they just got to finish the last game that I have backed with them, which is Monster Apocalypse. So I'm hoping. I'd love for them to get that one done, but I don't have the highest hopes in Mythic. They went from being one of those companies you could trust, like they were producing big games, but they were delivering, they were making it happen, and now you just. I think once they finally deliver the last games, I think that's the end of Mythic. I don't think anybody will ever trust them again. So, but it was one of those. They grew too fast, had too much overhead, and then could not deliver on that. And so then they started doing Kickstarters to feed their past Kickstarters, which is a terrible way to run a business.
So they went from being a legitimate business to going to Kickstarter?
Well, they were always a Kickstarter board game publisher. But they went from a really solid, like, produce the game, have it mostly produced, kickstart it, get it, the actual production done, deliver, to, hey, we're going to throw this out there, get it, get people to pledge a bunch. We're going to use that to then develop the game. So one of the games that I backed that they now sold off the IP for was a game called Hell, the Last Saga. And part of the problem was, and it's like, gosh, I think it's like 5 or 6 years now overdue.
Wow.
And it's because they had no game fully, like, they didn't have the game fully developed. So they ran the Kickstarter on a not fully developed game, making it sound like it was fully developed. And then they had to try and develop it. And then they realized that what they promised was so huge and so massive that they were going to have to spend a whole lot more time in development to do it, which was more than they had budgeted. So they needed to run another Kickstarter to kind of keep the company afloat while they did that. And they just kind of spiraled into this, we're growing, we're bringing in more people, we're trying to basically start. And it was kind of almost like they'd start designing, have an idea, have a concept, get some art done, get some rules written, run a Kickstarter, and then, okay, now we're going to start developing that game. But the problem was is that we're kind of using the money that we got from that Kickstarter to work on some of these other games that we've overpromised on, and that's where they then ran into this ground where they just couldn't keep up. And part of the other problem was they made all of their games for the longest time Kickstarter exclusive. So if you wanted to back something, like they actually did a Batman game, which I own. I have that one. They did that one in partnership with a different company, thankfully. And that company is still thriving and doing well. But part of the issue that they got into with that was like that game was Kickstarter exclusive. We're going to produce this Batman game. You can only get it if you back the Kickstarter. We're not going to produce any more copies. We're not going to sell them to retail. And so the problem was is that when you then didn't have a Kickstarter going and you didn't have that that influx of cash, you had no other ways to keep your company afloat. It's not like they produced a bunch of extra copies and sold them off to game stores and had then revenue coming in. And that's where they had
very over leveraged for their big grand ideas. And it's like you start that cycle of over promising and under delivering, then that's a slippery slope.
Yeah, and with like this one with Rainbow Six Siege, like the big controversy about it, and it also happened with their other game, Darkest Dungeon, was for me to get this, even though I had pledged, and I got it at, I had pledged at a certain amount, they basically came back and said, look, we can't actually deliver the game for that, so you're going to have to pay an X amount to actually get the game shipped. And if you don't pay, you're not getting anything. And it basically held everybody hostage with it, because it's like, well, I paid in, $300-$400 to get this game and all of the stuff, but you want me now to pay an additional $100 to $200 in order to actually get my game. And if I don't pay that, then I get nothing. So that burned a lot of bridges. And then again,
got to protect the damn hostages.
And so then you have that going on, and then you have the fact that, as I said, some games like hell they stalled out on, and it's a shame because they were picking up some licenses that I absolutely love, like Rainbow Six Siege. I have never really desired to play the game because I'm not that good, and I know I would suck at it. But in board game form, okay, I could get behind this. I think it'd be cool. It's my way into the game.
Can you get in front of it?
No, because I don't need to be shot by friendly fire.
You put up a protective wall, you're fine.
Yeah,
it.
But the other game,
Shoot the RC car underneath the door frame.
Yeah, but like the other license that they got that I was super excited about was they got the license to this Monster Apocalypse. This is one of the figures I have for it. I just got in, which is basically a giant kaiju skirmish game. So think of it Pacific Rim, the board game, but with
it's a Godzilla.
It does have a figure that may or may not be Godzilla. It may also have a figure that may or may not be King Kong. They might also have like an Attack of the 50-Foot Woman and some of these other tropes. But it's a fun game. It's produced by Privateer Press, who were like, it really should be a board game. We don't know how to do it. Mythic comes along. They've had this good track record. Privateer Press is great. We'll sell you, a license so you can produce the board game version of this. And for me, it's like, great. I can get a bunch of the monsters and such because like one monster, like this kit, is like $30-$40. So the idea that I could get a bunch of them was a great deal. And they haven't worked on that game whatsoever. They have laid off almost all of their staff. I think Mythic Games is down to 2 people. So we'll see what happens with Monster Apocalypse. If that one fails completely, I'm going to be disappointed because I care a lot more about that one than than Rainbow Six. I'm glad I got this one, but Monpok is one of those just amazing games that like I have slowly collected into a little bit, but because of how expensive it is for Privateer Press's resin models, you know, a cheap plastic, even though it might not be the same quality as that, but the ability to play giant kaiju fighting each other with my son when he gets a little bit older, that's just too awesome of an idea. And so I want to make this happen. So I'm hoping they pull through, but I don't have high hopes. I just don't. So.
It's kind of surprising that there isn't the big game, or I'll say big video game publishers that don't have their own board game development divisions, because it sounds like the guys that acquire these licenses to make a Rainbow Six themed board game have a lot of excellent ideas, and having the bigger backing and bigger support from something would be able to get that idea and run with it a lot better.
Well, and there's been a great crossover in the last 3-4 years between video games and board games. I mean, I'm seeing it here with Rainbow Six Siege. I have a board game version of Stardew Valley. Steamforged games have produced in just recent years Resident Evil 2, Dark Souls. Simon did Bloodborne. There's a couple different versions of Monster Hunter out there. So a lot of video game IPs getting turned into Darkest Dungeon, which I mentioned was done by Mythic. That's another video game property. There's quite a few of these that are crossing over into that realm, which I think is cool because it's another way to take that video game and play it in a different setting and maybe introduce it to somebody who is not going to sit down and play the actual video game. You know, like I would never get my in-laws to play Stardew Valley on the Xbox, but I have had them play the board game and they absolutely loved it. You know, so it's kind of a way to bring that experience to somebody else. IPA Rob was talking to me because he has a friend who travels to a bunch of conventions who brought back Steamforge's Dark Souls game. And they played that one night and have had a great time with that. So you would think, I mean, that you might have some of these video game companies doing this, but so I think it's easier for them to make the money off licensing their titles. Hey, more power to them if they can. I have a Street Fighter game. Actually, I have a second one coming because 2 different companies have done it, and I'm a big Street Fighter fan. So,
who's your favorite character in Street Fighter?
Oh, my favorite of all time is Blanca. I've always enjoyed some of the weirder fighters in some of those. It's just, and he's just that different. He doesn't get a lot of love, but
yeah,
I like him. Zangief, I always thought was fun too. So,
sure.
You know, and then when you want to be cheesy, you play, you know, Dulcim and hit the guy from across the map. That's how it goes. So that's I remember. In high school, I stayed with my aunt and uncle down in Spearfish for a couple of months. I was down there helping with the theatrical production of Forever Plaid. And they had a Super Nintendo with Street Fighter 2, and my cousin kept just whomping my uncle. And so I taught my uncle a couple of the special move combos that I knew so that he could at least stand a chance. And my cousin really didn't think that was fair for me to be teaching his dad how to beat him in Street Fighter. So, fun times. But, yeah. Hey, there's more board game talk than you normally get on this show. Peter's like, I'm glad. It's allowed me to play more flashing lights.
Yeah, I was a little curious there on my end because I spawned the SWAT truck, was showing off the old SWAT truck. Went to go drive said SWAT truck, and I couldn't go anywhere because it was like stuck to a point in the map.
I ran into the same issue.
Okay.
And what I did is
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
I thought it was something that was wrong with the update or wrong with the truck specifically. And I was like, well, what if I go in and... Because I tried the help command to like respawn it in front of me. It kept doing it. Like it'd say I was going 50 miles an hour.
Yep.
I was going like
Did that too.
rolling pace, and then you go to turn and it just kind of swivels. But I went and chose a different car, and then I chose the SWAT truck again, and then it seemed to work. And I tried restarting my game, and it kind of replicated itself. But I'm sure it's something that'll get fixed fairly quickly. But I ran into the same thing because I was like, "What did I do wrong?" But
You played the game by yourself. That's what you did.
I guess so. But yeah, I went and chose a different vehicle. Got in that, drove it around a little bit, and I chose the SWAT truck at the front desk, and then it seemed to drive fine after that. So,
On this bit of discussion of things that are wrong, gents, it's time for everybody's favorite segment. It is Dad Jokes of the Week. That's right. It's that time of the show where Howard reads from this book of terribly awesome dad jokes. So feel free to share these with your own friends and family.
Or don't.
Kidder's a big fan of this segment. It's his favorite part of the show. So, how many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh?
8,
10 tickles.
10 tickles.
What do you call an empty can of Cheese Whiz? Cheese Whiz. A furniture store keeps calling me. All I wanted was a one-night stand. And our last dad joke of the evening. Thieves had broken into my house and stolen everything except my towels, soap, shower gel, and my deodorant. Dirty bastards. There you go. There's your dad jokes of the week. Join us again next week for 4 more terribly awesome dad jokes. Kidder, we're on page 14 now.
I'm looking forward to contributing to that segment because I got a dad joke book for the baby shower.
There you go. There you go. That's good. That's good because when I eventually run out, we're going to need more dad jokes. This segment's going to be over.
The person he pointed to was me. He's like, ah! I'm like, yeah.
The knee slapper.
They're all good, man. All good. I'm just looking forward at one time when I get through this book of dad jokes. Our local library does a book sale about once a quarter or so. It's how they raise money for the library. I'm very much looking forward to donating this book to that book sale and putting in the cover, as seen on Beer, Blues, and BS. Just because.
Do we have stickers for that? Do we have that in the budget?
Listen, we just need to get the graphics department to make, the design.
No, what we need to do is have it be autographed by everybody on the show.
Listen, we don't want the value to go down more. Okay?
Yeah, I think this is
already going to deface it, let alone the scribbles on the pages.
The Beer, Blues, and BS book club.
Hey, you never know. By the time we
get one book and then you're done. It's a short club.
Kidder, by the time that we get through it, put a sticker in it, pass it around so everybody can sign it, I'm sure one of us will have developed cancer. And you know what? We'll need to do a fundraiser. And look, we have our first raffle item. There you go. that got a little dark, but that's how it goes.
To our health.
Yes. Yes.
Salute! Have AI work on that. Graphic department's shut down.
I mean, our graphics department now is practically just AI. I'm not going to lie.
Somebody on this show needs to work.
Yeah. Listen, it is just too convenient to be able to put in things that I need and, here, you spit this out. Like the episode that came out this week, I needed a photo not found image. I wanted something with a cow.
Couldn't find the photo, could you?
I couldn't, so I had to go to AI and have it generate it. I just wish that you could change in AI. I wish you could change the format of it because it's always that square shape, which is not the right size for a thumbnail. So I always have to then try to figure out how to fill the rest of the space. And that tends to be the biggest challenge. So if you ever notice some wonky stuff on there, it's probably because I'm stitching together two images to try and make one.
Are you able to search for something specific but give it a generic background?
Yes, I have done that at times. Sometimes it's hard to match because if you don't choose your style of your image off the first time, then you kind of have to try and guess what style it used for everything. And even then, sometimes when you put in certain things, it struggles a bit more with trying to create it. So
I wonder if there's like an AI YouTube thumbnail generator.
I mean, that would be helpful. But most of the time, the stuff that I create is just weird enough where either it comes up with a really great idea right off the bat, or I look for elements. Like the classic example was I wanted a hand holding a set of Magic the Gathering cards. And so to be able to just type that, a hand holding Magic the Gathering cards, and it produces that, and I can clip out the background, I can put whatever background I want behind it, is so much easier than what I was doing with thumbnails, where I would have to sit and scour to find the elements I needed to build something and to try and make it all work. I mean, and I am no Photoshop expert. Compared to Kidder, I am but a humble noob. And so,
He did bestow the Photoshop hero zip up howdy to me, so
I did. Listen, I acknowledge those who have far more skill than I do.
Acknowledge me.
As long as I don't have to do that, can we come up with a better symbol?
I'd love to see what AI could generate if it listened to our episodes and then you queried the
probably kill itself.
The generator. Just ask it.
No more, please.
Tell me about Mark's opinion of cherries and drinks.
I like gobbledygook.
I will say I've been using it also to write like our descriptions of the episodes because, again, like I have found myself with increasingly less time. It's done a pretty good job on some of those. I'm not going to lie. I like them. They're far more exciting and descriptive than I was writing.
I could see it having a difficult time with our inside jokes and lines, though.
Yes, although sometimes it really depends on what you write for the prompt.
Yep.
And what you write, it will
give it a paragraph of something.
Yeah. And so if you kind of set up what some of those inside jokes are, it actually does okay with some of that. I forget what it put down for, and maybe I can look it up. Like when I did the 150th episode, like it came up on its own with like great descriptions of our guests. And I was like, okay, I hadn't planned on it being able to do that, but yeah, it put it as this: Mark Kidder and Howard Blues raise a glass or three to celebrate a milestone 150th episode, joined by a bevy of special guests, the ever so slightly rude Rudeboy Kyle, resident tech expert, local geek, and the I can't read. I've been drinking. Enigmatic brother Nico. So it did pretty good.
Ever so slightly rude.
Ever so slightly rude, Rudeboy Kyle. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't use the name in the definition.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's AI. You get what you pay for.
What if people weren't listening right now? Who would have known that you used a little help to generate a little bit of buzz?
I don't think most people know. I don't know of too many people who read the actual descriptions on episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of okay with that. It's really just to put something in that maybe if somebody does read to go, what is this?
Yeah.
That might get them.
At least I ask myself that on a weekly basis.
What is this? Or
yeah. Just saying.
It must be all the blows to the head you've taken over the years, kidder. I mean, we're 3 years in. If you haven't figured out this is a poorly viewed podcast, I'm a little concerned.
Were you able to get the SWAT truck rolling there, Mark?
I just stopped because I already had 45 minutes of recorded footage for Howard, so that was enough.
That's plenty. That's absolutely plenty.
So did material.
One of these times I will have to try, and when you guys are streaming, join in with the old paint cam. Yeah.
Well, have we told Howard that we are able to designate people as civilians in the game, and the civilians do their own thing, and we're able to apprehend them accordingly?
Why are you laughing at that? You've already been arrested before, so why are you laughing?
No, he was given a warning earlier.
That one, but he's also been arrested.
I have not been arrested. Let's not throw that out there.
Says the guy who knows there's a photo of him in handcuffs.
Listen.
Got the rude voice. Oh.
Am I being detained? Am I free to leave?
There is such a photo, but no formal charges nor actual arrest actually occurred. Somebody just thought it'd be funny to put me in handcuffs.
I mean, if it happened, it happened. There's photographic proof.
I mean, I'm just thinking, kidder, about like all of these shenanigans I could get up to as a whoa! The door's been kicked in.
Watch out!
That's right. Look out! The local geek is here.
We talk about Howard getting arrested and local geek shows up. The handcuff talk just made him go.
Somewhere, somebody's telling a good story I need to be a part of. How's it going this evening?
Good. I wasn't expecting the invite, or I would have been here a little earlier, but
listen, I got a text from Kidder that said, we're being joined by Rudeboy Kyle, we're being joined by JS, and when I got here into the meeting, he's like, did you invite the local geek? I'm like, I didn't know he was coming. Okay, I'll send him an invite.
He has beer too, so yeah.
Yeah, I grabbed the old Jefferson County that you gave me, so.
Nice. Well, here it's
Jeffco.
It's everybody's favorite segment that just pops in and interrupts. It's a special "What's on Tap" local geek edition. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's the Jefferson County Cider Works Bright and Citrusy Session Hard Cider. It's 4% alcohol. It's grapefruit lime flavored. I should not have opened the can. Oh, it's just ingredients.
I got you.
There's no real flavor text.
Hard cider.
We made that mistake earlier too, so no worries.
Lime juice concentrate, natural grapefruit and lime extract, citric acid, and sulfates added to protect flavor and quality. It's a sparkling hard cider. It's gluten-free. Keep refrigerated. Serve cold. Share with friends. Pack it in. Pack it the out. Please recycle. New American cider, handcrafted and packaged by Jefferson County Cider Works, LLC, on location at Fairfield, Iowa. Each batch is handcrafted, which means flavor may vary, much like the climate and seasons. We embrace diversity. And 4% alcohol by volume, 16 fluid ounces. Another stacked can. No wonder that it's in a pounder.
It's a pretty tasty cider. It's a little bit on the sour side, but I'm a sour fan, so it doesn't bother me a bit. I like it.
I was looking for an expiration date on this one, and they just didn't have one.
Yeah, got the 1/10/2023 right there, so. Oh, come on, focus. I think it's focused real quick, but yeah, I might have to go grab the grapefruit.
You better. Grab that grape. Squeeze it hard. It has a good citrusy scent. You get a lot of aroma of the grapefruit right out of the can. I hope this is better than the last one. Woo! Zips straight to your brain. That's a sour.
Yep.
It's almost like taking a nice chunk out of a grapefruit. Ooh, there's more of the grapefruit undertone right there. Did you get that too? Where it settled in?
It's on the back end a little bit. On the subject of sour, have you guys, either of you, heard of the Final Boss sour? It's like the one chip challenge of sour food.
No.
There's 3 levels of it. I've had the level 1 cranberry, and it's actually really good as somebody who likes sour things. So they also have strawberry and blueberry in all 3 levels, but I've only tried the level 1 of the cranberry so far.
This one I'll give a 2.9 so far.
Yeah, I should probably rate it 2. 2.9 feels good. I'll give it that too.
Fair enough.
Interesting. Huh.
Now what?
Did not realize I made that mistake. Okay.
What'd you do?
Well, honestly, I'm going through the box of stuff kind of while I was killing time. And Kidder, I ended up with 2 of the 0 figures.
I mean, that does not equal 0.
Well, I mean, 0 plus 0 does equal 0.
Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You got to have something if you want to be with me.
Get me across town.
I'm sad that Kyle missed that.
You'll see it on the replay.
What'd I miss?
Everything.
Sing along with Kidder. Da 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 da. Yeah. Da 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 da.
The local Geek
the
and
royalty free.
the grapefruit. What did you think, Mark?
2.9.
We're on the way up.
2.9 is above halfway, so it's above average.
I'd say it is refreshing, considering they say they made it by hand year round. I'd like to see if it tastes any better if the grapefruit were more in season, I guess. But I'm gonna have to say 2.9 as well. I'd say it's above average. It's good enough. It's got a little bit of tart, but I think maybe a little bit more sweet. Not much. Doesn't need much, but yeah, I like grapefruit, so it goes down easy.
Yeah, with the grapefruit and lime, you're definitely getting some sour on there.
Yeah.
On a side note, Easter's coming up, and I'm tying this in. Bear with me. Easter's coming up, and that means Easter brunch. And 2 local businesses have an Easter buffet. Reservations recommended. Lucky's 13 Pub and Bennigan's over in Mandan. Drinks available at both the Lucky's 13 Bloody Mary. I've had it on the show. Tasty beverage. Also, at Bennigan's and Mandan, they have Bloody Marys and mimosas available on Easter. So, 2 great locations for you to get toasted on Easter and celebrate Jesus' resurrection by watching him go up to the clouds yourself. Because you get toasted, okay? Toasted,
Drink that.
not a lot. Why are you giving me that shady ass look?
Because I can. Because I can.
And look, an ad for Pendleton Midnight.
Ooh.
Only you can see that, Kidder.
All we need is somebody else to surprise us with their presence in round 4. Might happen.
I mean, I'm still on round 2, so, you know.
Jesus, what?
I'm on round 1. I got to catch up.
Who are you expecting to come into the thing now?
Let's see. We got about 15, 20 minutes left. JS could show up. That's about the time he shows up.
I thought the trajectory was going towards a slight wrapping up, and then bam, local geeks here. So
which is why I'm extending the episode a little bit longer, because I'd hate for him to be like, that local geeks here. All right, good night, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
It would make up
See
for
you
the last
later,
episode
sucker.
when I showed up I left right before you guys ended it anyway.
It's all right. It's all right. Local Geek, we talked about this earlier, but JS hasn't responded to the Facebook post, so you get the black box of mystery beer.
Sounds good.
Enjoy. I also told them I didn't individually wrap every can that's in there, because who's got that kind of time? So you just get to.
Nobody got time for that.
So when you open the box, you'll see what you got, but you get what you get.
Or I can try to reach in the box blindly and bring them out as I drink them.
I mean, you could do that too. Hey, you got the missus. She could reach in, pull it out, pour it into a glass.
Yeah.
You don't know.
ooh, the double blind.
Yeah. Who
You know
knows?
what we really need, aside from more alcohol? An
Just
Outback
beer.
and a Popeyes.
Aren't we getting the Popeyes?
No.
I've
pulled
heard
off.
rumors. Oh,
No. He was going next to a car wash on the south end, and then they
Yep.
went, no.
I don't know. One of those places is highly overrated. Yeah. I don't,
Yeah, those car washes are just a scam. Especially those touchless ones.
There's a conspiracy through the city to put down more sand to make your car dirty. They're getting paid off by the car washes.
Just imagine the cloud.
I know we don't talk about politics and conspiracy theories on this show, but Lord help me. Lord help me. The
But if
car
they
washes
put
are in on
a
it.
Popeyes next to the car wash, then the Popeyes haze would float over the freshly cleaned cars, and they'd have to wash their cars more.
Nice. What, from the chicken or the breading
both.
or the grease?
Everybody loves the chicken at Popeyes.
Not chicken for Popeyes.
I've actually never had the chicken at Popeyes.
Oh,
No
you're
wonder
missing out,
you're a
Howie.
freak of nature.
Listen, I have a wife who is very limited in what she's allowed or able to eat, so it
Chicken?
really cuts down on where we can eat. It's kind of a bummer. But yeah, like Kidder, when do we not talk about conspiracies on this show?
I don't know.
I mean, we definitely don't talk about the politics, but conspiracies, that is open game, man. If somebody's got a good conspiracy, let's let you know.
Car washes are in on it with the cities. They pay the cities to put down more sand and more salt to get people to take more car washes. I should say that on my radio show and see what happens.
You should. Kidder, that I would
Maybe
tune
not. We have a car wash sponsor for every Tuesday, so maybe not.
in. Well, just don't do it on Tuesday. I mean,
Somewhere George Norrie is nodding with approval.
I mean, listen,
Art Bell, baby, the OG.
That's right.
Art Bell. Or now on the weekends, 8 News Now's George Knapp, the host of Coast to Coast AM, talking about aliens, conspiracies, and car washes, paying off cities to put down extra salt.
You don't believe what they're talking about on YouTube these days.
Yeah. Kidder, I actually,
We're also on iHeartRadio and Pandora, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb, Player FM, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, and, of course, a video version on YouTube.
As I can finally get to this. Our head of security, Kidder, was actually, I walked in on him and somebody else.
Whoa! That is not okay for this show. This is a family show, Howard. You need to watch what you're saying, okay?
Pull the parking brake.
There are people who watch this show.
By the time I get to the point of this story, it's no longer going to be relevant. That's what's going to happen.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, they were having a conversation, and I walked in, and our head of security was like, "Oh, you would know. You would know. What's the name of that show that was on, AM radio? They talked about aliens and that." I'm like, "Coast to Coast." He's like, "Yeah." Like, I don't know what to be offended by. The fact that you you thought that I would know that just off chance, or
what you should have said was pure blues and BS.
That's the show right there.
That's a pro move right there.
He
Show and getting them to watch it.
He knows about our show. He knows, because somebody maybe dropped that one in an interview at some point. And I hear about it now all the time from the security guys.
What do you mean, guys?
That means they know about it.
I mean the fact that our security team is all guys.
Are you saying that they're patrons of this program?
No, they just all know that I host a podcast called Beer, Blues, and BS, and they ask
well,
me
what
about
is that helping? Like, how is that helping us? Because it doesn't get us the views. As a requirement of working in your building, they need to subscribe to this show on all the program places, and they need to at least watch or give us a thumbs up.
I mean, it'd be a great way to kill time in the booth. I'm not going to actually.
Yeah, what else do they have going on? It's not like Night at the Museum where the exhibits come alive. Dinosaurs roaming and all that other hibbity-bibbity.
You don't know that for sure, Kidder, and I'm not allowed to talk about that. So,
gonna steal the state constitution of North Dakota.
I will say in high school, me and my friends got chased off the Capitol grounds by security while we were playing laser tag at night. Apparently, the laser tag guns looked a little bit too much like real guns in the dark and cameras.
Which is sad, because the Capitol grounds is an excellent place to play laser tag.
Oh yeah, we played there 3 or 4 times before they chased us off, and they weren't mean about it. They were just like, "Yeah, we can't tell what you're carrying on the cameras very well, and it looks like a gun, so we don't want to have that."
Yeah, don't piss off the Highway Patrol security. They're gonna bury you in the concrete foundation of the Capitol or something like that.
They'll
Local geek disappeared. He went to the Capitol, and nobody heard from him ever since.
Yeah, there's an unfinished tunnel that's part of the Heritage Center.
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna finish it.
They can't. They get too much water in there. It floods every year.
That's what I'm saying. That's the excuse. That's where he's gonna go. He's gonna get some concrete shoes.
It's not. Doesn't flood that deep.
They're feeding you with
Your
some
shit
BS
might be
power.
wet. Beware.
Listen, you apparently don't know the extent of conspiracy theories, even though we've talked about conspiracy theories on this show.
We know it has unlocked the conspiracy theory. It's the grapefruit cider.
Mr. Theory doesn't know his own theory, okay?
I'm now going to have to reban talking about conspiracy theories on this show. I have clearly
No more grapefruit ciders.
I have unleashed a side of Kidder that nobody is ready for.
I will say they're not joking when it says crushable on the top of it, because I polished this bad boy off already.
Whoa, slow down.
Crushing conspiracies left and right.
Local Geek's going to start having more conspiracies all of a sudden. Just watch it. He's like, yeah, those concrete shoes. I heard about those. Round 2. Drink.
Oh, I suppose I can go grab another one out of the fridge here. I'll be right back.
Oh, my God.
There goes the log.
Freaking prepared. What is this? Your first freaking time on the show, Mr. Most Frequented Guest?
Listen.
What we need.
I know he can hear me. Okay.
What we need.
I know he
is
can hear
Jay has
me.
to show up right now and restart at round 1.
All right.
Truthfully, if JS dropped in now, I would do all right, everybody, welcome to the 5th favorite segment of the show. What's on tap? Round 5. Toast.
I thought it would be everybody's favorite segment of Who's Here Now.
Well, no, I just wanted, because you'll get one of 2 reactions. JS will either be like, man, I'm way behind, I got to catch up, and he'll drink a lot, or he'll go, you're only on 5? This is my 10th one tonight. It's just one or the other. Either one would be comedy gold. What are you having for your round 2?
I believe this one came from JS. It's the Grunnerbach or Grunerbach, possibly. From either Gruner or Grunner Brothers Brewing in Casper, Wyoming. Says Bach beers are traditionally represented by images of goats. For Grunnerbach, the iconic pronghorn antelope was our goat of choice. Enjoy savoring this handcrafted dark lager that derives its flavors from unique German malts and the perfect balance of hops. Cheers to the official beverage of the home on the range, the goat. And it's goat with a period between each letter, so I'm not really sure what that might stand for.
The greatest of all time!
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah!
That would make sense. Looking for an ABV on here.
Anniversary that's coming up, Rude Boy. And I'm pretty sure I caught it on the multicam.
It's 6.3% alcohol by volume.
Just like I took another sip of this.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little bit of sweetness to it, which was kind of surprising, but I like it. Hey, Peter.
1, 2, or 3?
2! Ha ha!
Anyway, give this one a 3.2 out of
3.2, not too shabby.
A tree too.
And hey, in the second reference to last week's episode, if you know, you know.
You took the garbage.
You could have picked a different number, but
no,
you picked what
you
you picked.
asked, sucker.
It's that safe paint water he's got.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
that stuff does not get any better.
So what is that stuff?
Hey, if you know, you know.
It's not my fault you bought it.
I was asking for the spreadsheet purposes.
You're just gonna have to wait till you get to this episode, and maybe you'll have figured it out by then.
Just list it under Howard's paint water for now.
Well, let's see. What else do we What else is there to talk about?
Have I missed the dad joke of the week already? I'm guessing
you did miss the dad jokes of the week.
Shoot. I'll just interject here then, since we're trying to come up with a topic, unless you had something in mind.
I mean, listen, everybody likes a bonus dad joke of the week. Kidder lives for it.
Oh, it's an extra special one. So, I posted out on my Facebook page earlier last week sometime, that I've got a new beer in the works that is going to be a representation kind of my heritage, which is primarily Scandinavian for those that don't know. So the new beer is going to be called Borealis, to go with the Borealis that's visible in that area of the world frequently. And of course, it's going to be some sort of an ale. So just dropping some hints about what it might be, not fully revealing it yet, but.
Well, at least we know it's not an IPA, because that's already been earmarked to be named Kidder's Hatred.
No, banned.
I don't know. I'm also liking the Mandan middle finger that Kyle came up with a couple episodes ago. So.
That is also a good one.
Although the AIs also won't generate an image for that for me.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to see that.
Apparently it's offensive.
Yeah.
So was Mandan. That's probably where it came in.
It did have a problem with the middle finger.
Middle finger, no problems. Mandan, that's like nuclear waste. It is a hostile environment.
Yes. Let's see. Anybody been watching anything interesting? Good.
Halo, the series. What?
That's almost exactly. No.
Why are you laughing? You're like, what?
Because it's almost exactly how you sounded in the episode that came out this week when I asked the same question. Everybody watching anything good? You're like, Halo! The
Good.
series.
You know what that is, my friend? Consistency, okay? Damn things. Consistency is the spice of life.
What do you think this is? Rum, rock, and rumors? This is beer, blues, and BS. Consistent, we are not.
I'm not ready for that. I don't have the set for that. Stop. They might show up. Stop. Their conspiracy show just beyond our real. Stop.
Anyway, so Halo the series. How's it going?
It's pretty good. There's nowhere near enough freaking episodes for the damn show to play out as it needs to in the cinematic universe.
Are there not enough buttons to push?
Correct. I have not seen any buttons pushed. And you know how pissed I am? How many freaking buttons did Kyle and I push over the years playing co-op? And that doesn't even include how many buttons Howard and I pushed over the years, okay? I'm getting a little Matt Menard up in here, okay? A little crazy. You know what I'm saying? Daddy magic. Howard, how many buttons did we push?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I was looking up the definition of cinematic because I don't know if you can really call it a cinematic universe if it's a TV show. Which, hey, for those who are caring, you can't. Cinematic means a motion picture, like a film. Not a
Made for TV movie.
It's a streaming premium service meant to be movie series. So
I stand by what I said.
And you're wrong. That's fine.
Competing opinions.
I got an opinion for you right here. I got a big one.
Did you learn nothing from episode 150?
I don't care anymore. I'm done.
Anyway, anybody else watching anything interesting? Now that Kidder has told us how awesome but short Halo is.
Yeah, we've been keeping up on the Iowa State Cyclones basketball, or in the Big 12 championship stage of postseason play. But yeah, besides that, Formula One started up first couple races and watching that. The usual Red Bull racing domination. Holy smokes. I like it.
It's a little trippy for my taste, but
It didn't quite work how I was hoping it would. Because it's flipped for me. So if I sat where I was sitting, it was supposed to put me where I'm at, and it flipped
Just
everything.
scooch a little bit.
if you just slid over just a wee bit, you'd be fine.
We got two local geeks.
Too many geeks.
One's an imposter. Quick, shoot it.
Too many geeks, not enough grapefruit.
Too many geeks. Not enough grapefruit. Man, you got them more alcohol.
At the State Historical Society, we're doing a March Madness bracket. I have to figure out what random way I'm going to choose my team, because like last year I rolled dice to figure it out.
Uh-huh.
I need to come up with a different way of doing it.
Is AI too obvious?
I mean, that just seems like
Clearly,
too easy.
it does not do well with guessing compared to WWE stuff, which is scripted.
Well, even when you asked, Google, who the American champion was, I couldn't give you a straight answer.
Okay, that's the U.S. champion, Kyle. But yeah,
Yeah. Shades
maybe
of
that's why you put it. Who's the American
shades of a different
champion?
gray wrestler, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So,
So I got to
Do you
figure
have
that out.
any input on the Mike Tyson versus what's his face matchup coming up here?
Jake Paul.
Who?
Jake. Douchebag's brother. I really hope Mike Tyson punches him out in like 3 seconds and then bites his ear.
I mean, I don't necessarily think we're going to get an ear bite out of this, but
I thought I was hungry. I thought that you hit an earring. It's kind of like it's hungry.
yeah. I mean, I kind of want Mike Tyson to win, but that's just
Iron Mike.
it has nothing to do with Jake Paul. I know like little to anything about Jake Paul to be like, I can't hate the guy. I don't know enough about him to hate him, but I watched Mike Tyson back in the day when he actually fought, and you have to admit he was impressive in that time. And so I if he's coming back, I'd hate to just see him become another KO on Jake Paul's list. I'd rather that he can continue his legacy of being just one of the most dominant boxers out there.
I'd be hilarious if Jake Paul came out dressed as like he had a couple of dove wings or something, back from the Mike Tyson holding the dove picture.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of
those though.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of controversy around Jake Paul's boxing matches, and a lot of talk about him paying off people to take the dive and that he's
Controversy?
Yes, I said controversy, not
I thought
conspiracy.
this was banned from the
No,
Triple B
that's
Howard Blues.
That was conspiracy.
Conspiracy. Controversy is different.
Well, this sounds like a conspiracy because it's a continual thing that's happened over a period of time.
No, this is a controversy because people kind of look at it as
Okay.
if
The
he's-
lawsuit goes to Howard Blues.
because it's one of those people are saying, that he's basically inflating his record and such via, having people take these dives. And they point to things. There are people who analyze these videos and try to go, well, Jake Paul, right before he threw the knockout punch, did a little handshake. That was his signal that this is the time to go down. I don't know that I buy it. I don't know. That's more effort and energy to following Jake Paul than I really wish to use on what little free time I have. That's whatever, man. That's my take. To me, the more interesting news, and I'm sure maybe you guys have heard of this, but it was announced last week that small production company located in Austin, Texas, that was celebrating its 21st year not all that long ago, is shutting down, and of course that is Rooster Teeth.
I was hoping it was the the Shiner Brewery. No. Yeah.
Yeah, the makers of Red versus Blue is probably their best known property. They also did Ruby, along with a host of other things. They had a lot of other outside kind of channels that were tied into it, such as Achievement Hunter, Let's Play, and such. And so they are closing down. They are technically owned by Warner Brothers, and so Warner Brothers is the ones who are closing it. They have been kind of plagued with controversy that kind of started back around 2018. That's when Mika Burton was there and then left the company. She's of course, daughter of LeVar Burton, who, if you're a kidder, you immediately go Geordi from Star Trek.
Correct.
She
And
left.
I think it was the daughter who also starred in Picard.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was the other daughter. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. She worked for Rooster Teeth for, I can't remember. It was a couple of years, but eventually quit due to the community being very racist towards her, and not feeling supported by the company itself. That kind of started a string of controversies, the death of Monty Holm, Fiona leaving, which was also due to a similar racism. You saw several of the founders leave, such as Matt Holmes, Bernie Burns. You had Joel fired. You had the whole grooming scandals centered around Achievement Hunter, Ryan Haywood. And so it was kind of scandal after scandal. COVID really put an effect on them and a damper on them. And it's just kind of been a slow trickle. So really, it's kind of a sad day that they're calling it quits, because I don't know about you guys, but I remember being in college and watching Red versus Blue. And then I watched a lot of Achievement Hunters stuff during their kind of glory days. So it's sad that they're leaving. And I'm sad for Jeff Ramsey, because he's the heart and soul of Rooster Teeth these days, and one of the founders, and has kind of been the guy who stuck with it and tried to keep the company running. And now to have to start over and come up with something new, it'll be interesting to see. So yeah. So, and on that sad, depressing news, we've been talking for quite a while. Jitter! It's time we wrap this show up. with some cheap plugs.
Here, I was hoping that somebody else would be able to do that because I've done it so often.
Give me the script.
All right, Rudeboy Kyle.
I don't have the script.
Well, make it up as we go. I already did half of it like 5 minutes ago.
We'll take that recording and say thank you for listening if you've been to this point. Beer, Blues, and BS. We're on all the popular media outlets, YouTube, Spotify, whatever else you get your listening on type service to. But yeah, we certainly appreciate you taking the time to listen to our rants and ravings, our opinions, and our hard facts, if you will. But yeah, if you want to contribute to the show, please donate via the link down below if you're watching on YouTube. We have our own merchandise store. Plenty of awesome drinkware, workwear, wear at home wear, all the good things. And you can contribute to the show that way. It goes a long way. But if you're watching on YouTube, slap a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you're notified of any new videos that are published. And you won't miss a beat in the Beers, Blues, and BS universe that we have cultivated for you. So, and there's Mark in the background providing the background beats. So, yeah.
And don't forget, you can buy these fine gentlemen a beer.
You can buy us around, and we will feature not only your thankful contribution, but also the beer that you put it towards, and give our own 2 cents on what you bought us. And with that, from our gracious hosts, Howard Blues, the Mark Kidder.
Yeah!
Local Geek joining us tonight, and myself, Rudeboy Kyle. We are signing off. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Happy Friday. And good night.
Yeah. That's pretty good there. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever day, time you're watching or listening. Thank you. Thanks for that.
Coming off the cuff, I thought it went all right.
That's pretty good. You've been part of enough shows. Golf clap that.
Yeah, I'll golf clap that. Yeah.
A golf season right around the corner. We'll be able to hit the links in no time and shank those balls into oblivion. Right out into left field. All right. Quick round of final thoughts. Here we go. Last to join, first to go, Local Geek.
Oh boy. I don't know if I had any final thoughts. I was thinking about saving my beer hint drop for final thoughts, and then I didn't do it. I am going to have a mead going here before too long, though. So that'll be another Scandinavian thing I'll have going outside of the beers from the homeland. So,
what's the time frame on those guys being ready? A couple months.
The mead will probably need a decent amount of time to go through fermentation and clarifying, so it'll probably be at least a couple of months.
Sure.
The beer, once I go to brew it, which will probably be like late April, early May, it'll be ready a couple weeks after that. So.
Excellent.
Just waiting for the weather to warm up, because it's hard to plan a brew day 2 weeks or so in advance and then know if it's going to snow or be 60 degrees with this winter.
Yeah.
When I was in Iowa, there was one day it was 65 degrees in the morning, and 16 degrees when we left at night.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're slowly warming up, and you're gonna get the toss up and the coin flip of whatever season you get one day to the next.
Always good to have a wicked toss-up. All right, lazy goalie. Final thoughts.
Well, it's not too often that we get to round 3 on an episode, but it was certainly enjoyable. And thank you, Local Geek, for showing up at the perfect time to enable that round 3. So
I try.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good episode, I think, and thank you for the opportunity to give the royal sound off and sign off for the episode, and I hope I did okay.
Hey, sir, we have another beer, sir. Very good. Howard Blues looks like he's got something to say.
Well, I thought about all sorts of words of wisdom I could leave and share as part of this final thought. But knowing how that goes, I would try and say something profound, screw it up, and Kidder would make fun of me. So we'll just call it a night.
Well, it's as is tradition.
It is.
As is tradition. All right. Well, with that, we made a round around, and JS apparently unable to join us.
He's here in
Anybody
spirits.
Unable to join us, but we drank a drink and poured a 40 on the curb for our homies. So thanks for joining us. Make sure you keep your glass at least half full. There is free beer tomorrow, and yeah, we will catch you on down that overly hyped Tuscan Highway. Have a great night and day or morning or whenever and wherever you're listening and watching. And we will see you on the next episode of the Beer, Blues, and BS.
Thank you, my friend.
Oh, that's pretty good there.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
Hopefully some people will watch.
I'll watch.
I know. Yeah, we already know we got our one viewer. Thanks for your continued patronage.
I already got a thumbs up and a comment on the one that came out today, even though I haven't watched it yet.
Good kitty.
I saw that actually.
You saw him come running in?
Yeah, I was trying to get the Facebook post up. It's going to go up tomorrow just because at this point it was so late. I'm like, it's not going to get any views. So the Facebook post will go up. But as I was doing that, I'm like, oh, somebody's already watched the episode. And then I saw the comments. I'm like,
No,
yeah,
not just somebody. Local Geek watched. We know.
I haven't watched it yet. I just saw my name was called out in the chapter list, so I had to comment about it.
Yeah, we got 7 likes on the farming sim gameplay.
Wow.
Mhm.
We're doing a pivot.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have been doing pretty good on the streaming. I mean, it's been going well.
I'm looking at this Grunner Brewing that made this last beer I had on their website. They have a barrel-aged Irish red, which sounds really good.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, we're streaming tomorrow, Kyle.
What are we streaming?
After 4. playing Flashing Lights with Tanner.
Ooh.
Mm.
After 4 p.m. with Tanner?
Yeah,
Does he have the new SWAT truck?
probably.
Gonna have to make sure I tune in and leave some smart aleck remarks.
It was funny earlier because it was right as you guys started the episode. I started playing it on my monitor to my left, and I thought you were playing it live through some back channels through the stream or through the episode. And I started doing the drums, and I was like, wait, hold on a second, I'm muted. They can't hear what I'm playing through my speakers. So I'm like, I'm just drumming to myself right now. So yeah, that was my good intro to myself. And I just started playing an episode because I was like, oh, I haven't started watching this yet. And I gave it a like, and I was like, wait a second, I'm muted.
Yeah. The one that came out this week is kind of an interesting one because our guest didn't really realize he was going to be a guest. So it's kind of
The new guy.
I had no better thing that I could put up for that. I'm like, the new guy. That might get some views. So we'll see. That's pretty good. He's got some great one-liners in there. Like, he doesn't say much kind of throughout the episode because I think he was a little, again, he wasn't prepared. But he does get some good one-liners in there kind of throughout. What little he said, he made it entertaining. I'll give it that.
Good.